426 drones. That's the largest single drone attack in the history of warfare. All launched in one night, all targeting civilian areas in Ukraine. But what happened next will shock you, because Ukraine hit back, and Moscow's airports descended into complete chaos. To understand how this war just escalated beyond anything we've seen before, you need to know what's happening to ordinary families in Ukraine right now. Daria Slavitska is 27 years old. Every few nights, she packs a yoga mat, blankets, and food into a stroller and takes her 2-year-old son Emil underground into Kyiv's subway system. They're not alone. The Kyiv metro recorded 165,000 visits during June nights alone, more than double the previous month. These aren't commuters. These are families desperately seeking shelter from Putin's relentless night attacks. 3.5 years into this war, and it's getting worse, not better. Donald Trump's peace efforts have failed. Putin refuses ceasefire proposals, and now both sides are escalating in ways that could change everything. Daria's story isn't unique. It's become the new normal in Ukraine's capital. Her son, Emil, used to shake uncontrollably when air raid sirens sounded, crying, "Corridor, corridor, Mum, I'm scared." Now, after months of attacks, he says more calmly, "Mum, we should go." A 2-year-old child has been conditioned to expect war. She now brings her identity documents underground, knowing her apartment building could be destroyed while she's away. In April, a residential building just 2 kilometers from her home was obliterated. The psychological impact on children is devastating. Pediatricians are prescribing calming medications to toddlers. Monday night's attack represented a new level of warfare. Russia launched 426 drones and 24 missiles across Ukraine in a single coordinated assault. To put this in perspective, that's more drones than most countries have in their entire military arsenal, all launched in one night against civilian targets. The attack lasted hours. Residents across Kyiv described the night sky lighting up with explosions while the high-pitched whine of drone engines reverberated through the city. 23 drones hit their targets, killing 2 people, wounding 15, and damaging kindergartens, residential buildings, and civilian infrastructure. Kyiv's metro system has become an underground city. Built during Soviet times with deep tunnels designed to withstand nuclear attacks, these stations now shelter millions seeking protection from Putin's drones. The scenes are reminiscent of London during the Blitz. Families with mattresses, children sleeping on platforms, the elderly huddled in ticket halls. The psychological toll is immense. Scientists warn that chronic sleep deprivation is creating lifetime health consequences for an entire population. One study showed 88% of Ukrainians report bad or very bad sleep quality. Children are developing anxiety disorders. Adults face cognitive decline and chronic stress. This isn't random violence. It's a calculated strategy. Putin has weaponized sleep deprivation. By attacking at night, repeatedly, he's not just trying to destroy buildings. He's trying to break the Ukrainian population's will to resist by making normal life impossible. The economic impact is staggering. Research shows sleep deprivation costs the US economy $411 billion annually. For Ukraine, already devastated by war, the additional burden of a chronically exhausted population could be catastrophic. Soldiers can't fight effectively without sleep. Workers can't maintain productivity. Society begins to collapse from within. But Ukraine didn't just absorb this massive attack. They hit back, and they hit back hard. Ukrainian drones targeted Moscow's airports in a coordinated counterstrike that brought the war directly to Russia's capital for the first time in months. Russia's defense ministry claims they shot down 117 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 30 over the Moscow region. But the damage was done. Moscow's 4 main airports, Sheremetyevo, Vnukovo, Domodedovo, and Zhukovsky, all faced flight restrictions. Thousands of passengers were stranded. The scenes at Moscow's airports were unprecedented. Sheremetyevo, Russia's busiest airport, became a refugee camp. Videos showed thousands of passengers sleeping on terminal floors, waiting in endless queues, their flights cancelled indefinitely. Children crying, elderly people struggling to find space to rest. This wasn't just inconvenience. This was Moscow's population getting their first real taste of what Ukrainians experience every night. For residents of Russia's capital, many of whom have been insulated from the war's realities, suddenly the conflict wasn't happening over there anymore. It was disrupting their lives directly. What makes these attacks particularly horrific is their deliberate targeting of civilian infrastructure. Kindergartens, residential buildings, shopping centers. Putin's forces aren't hitting military targets. They're terrorizing families. Zelensky's words after the latest attack were stark. Russia's attacks are always against humanity. The strategy is clear. Make civilian life so unbearable that Ukraine surrenders not through military defeat, but through psychological exhaustion. The use of 426 drones in a single attack represents a new era in warfare. These aren't sophisticated military drones, many are commercial drones modified for warfare, cheap to produce but devastating in large numbers. It's warfare democratized through technology, making massive attacks affordable even for smaller military forces. The psychological impact of drone warfare is unique. Unlike missiles that arrive instantly, drones can be heard approaching for minutes, their engine whine building terror before impact. Families hear them coming and know they have only moments to reach shelter. But here's what's really happening. This isn't just about Ukraine and Russia anymore. When Ukrainian drones shut down Moscow's airports, when thousands of Russian passengers slept on terminal floors, when the war finally reached the daily lives of ordinary Russians, everything changed. Putin has spent 3 years telling his population this is a special military operation happening far away. But when your flight is cancelled, when you're sleeping on an airport floor, when the war disrupts your life directly, suddenly it becomes real. This is the moment the conflict stopped being Putin's war and started becoming Russia's war, and that changes everything. War has a way of expanding beyond its intended boundaries. What started as Putin's attempt to quickly conquer Ukraine has become a grinding conflict that now touches millions of civilians on both sides. Daria and Emil will sleep in the metro again tonight. Katerina will climb into a steel capsule. Thousands of families will pack their emergency bags and head underground when the sirens sound. But now, for the first time, ordinary Russians are experiencing a taste of what Ukrainians have endured for 3.5 years. Airport chaos is nothing compared to nightly bombing, but it's a start. The question is whether this shared experience of disruption will create pressure for peace, or whether both populations will simply accept even higher levels of suffering as normal. This war is changing. The attacks are escalating, and there's no clear end in sight. What do you think? Will bringing the war to Moscow's airports change Russian public opinion, or will it just lead to more escalation? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for updates on this evolving crisis.